Once again to Raw Boxing TV. My name is Ranger. Some of you already know that. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, where today you will learn not only about boxing, not only about certain type of man personality, but you'll learn a little bit about the animal kingdom. What does that have to do with boxing? I don't know. Just stick around and see. It is clear to me, and it is clear to everybody that follows Canelo Alvarez for the simple fact of being the same race other than boxing. You know, they're his followers because they might be Mexican or they might be South Americans, but they're not his followers because they're boxing knowledgeable fans or they know about boxing. It's sort of like an Oscar de la Hoya. He had 6,000 women per aisle there to see him, but you can ask all of them, and out of 6,000, maybe 100 of them actually knew the sport. Well, Canelo not only has women, but he's got men's that is the same situation. Whatever happened to the real breed of Mexican fighter, to the Salvador Sanchez, to the Perro Angulo, whatever happened to Ricardo El Finito Lopez, whatever happened to all these fighters, Chavez Sr., you know, whatever happened to that breed of Mexican fighter, that today we got breed of Mexican fighters like Mikey Garcia, Saúl El Canelo Alvarez, ducking people to their faces. Let's touch on the animal kingdom. This here are eggs. I have hands. I got white Cochins, light Brahmas, dark Cornishes, game fowl. This egg here, I'm not going to say it was laid by one of my hands because my wife bought this at the groceries, but we do pick up eggs every day and I give them to my mom. But these are called huevos in Spanish. This here are huevos. And my hands, meaning a female chicken, she got more huevos than Saúl El Canelo Alvarez. You see, when you take a hen and you buy it either at the exhibition show or you buy it online, and you take her to your backyard and you release her, the mother hen, she goes over there and she don't care how big that new hen is. She goes over there and she fights her to let her know who the girl is. To let her know, hey, I'm in charge. The only way you can take over is by beating me today. That's not the case with El Canelo Alvarez. You see, Canelo Alvarez had a rooster step into his time to shine, the post-press. His time to shine as to why he destroyed Angulo. And this rooster came next to him and went and just started cracking around him and telling him, first of all, I want to congratulate you. This was what Lara said, because he said it in Spanish and nobody was there to translate, right? Of course. It's not convenient. He said, first of all, I want to congratulate you for having such a good fight, for beating Angulo. You're a great fighter. And the reason I'm here in front of all the press and in front of the people is to ask you for a fight. When are you going to give me a fight? I think everybody here is crazy to see a fight about us. Canelo then responds, ¿Quién quiere? ¿Están loco por ver una pelea? ¿Tú estás loco? ¿Tú eres su manager? Las peleas no se hacen así. Tienes que esperar. He basically said, are you guys crazy to see a fight? A couple of people said yes because they were probably the only ones there that spoke Spanish and understood. And then he turns to Lara's manager and he said, you his manager? You crazy to see a fight about us? The guy said, yeah. He turns to Lara and says, well, today is not my day to lay some eggs. I don't have un par de huevos, a couple of eggs. This is not how fights are made. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. But you didn't say that to the guy who was destroyed as well by the guy who's challenging you. You see, man, is every time we talk about this, things happen that just come back and slap you guys in the face. You know, Mayweather is accused of ducking a lot of people. Maybe he has. Or maybe it's just that he's mostly looking for fights with a little bit more money, right? Who knows? I'm not there to judge that. But the only time I've ever seen a guy step in the ring to take Floyd's shine away, to tell him, we need to fight. The only time I've seen that happen, that guy got what he asked for. And not only that, he got a beating by Floyd Mayweather. Canelo, you're not a real Mexican macho man. If I was Mexican, I know a lot of y'all think I hate Mexican, but so be it. My heart's clean, and there's only one person that knows my heart, and that's God. I don't hate Mexicans. I'm just very, very critical of the type of Mexican fighters that we have today, who instead of representing what really the old school Mexican fighter was, they're out here acting like ducks. Donald Ducks. So if you want to still think that I hate Mexican, maybe I should divorce this lady right here, my wife. Jarocha, de Veracruz, Mexico. But see, this right here, my hands have more guts than Canelo Alvarez. If you ever come into my backyard with one of your hands in your hands, and you drop her in my backyard, I'm gonna have one of those hands as the mother hand. She's gonna come back and fight your hand, regardless of how big she is, because she's there to take her shine away. She's there to take her shine away. But you, the Mexican fighter, that fan that follows Canelo for being Mexican, right, and not for being a fighter, you over there running your mouth like you know what you're talking about, when in reality you don't. Well, how come Lara doesn't fight Molina? Well, first of all, because Molina right now is in jail, possibly going to be deported for being a sex offender and I don't know what, which I'm not judging him. I don't know what happened. It doesn't take much to be registered as sex offender. All it takes is a mad girlfriend to call the cops and say, oh, he tried to rape me. Boom, sex offender, when the guy really isn't. But not only that, when they did talk about a possibility for a rematch, Molina said, no, I'm fighting James Kirkland. But see, a lot of y'all don't know that, because a lot of you follow what other YouTubers say. Right? It's funny how one of the biggest Cuban haters out there was just talking a couple of weeks ago about, hey, Ishe Smith called out Lara. Why ain't Lara fighting him? And now he gets a slap to the face, like, pow! Lara's fighting Ishe Smith on the Mayweather undercard. So, come on, man. Like I said 2 videos ago, watch what you say in front of a camera. It may come back to bite you. Canelo knows deep in him. He knows he cannot beat Erislandy Lara. Not only that, he's a disrespectful little bastard to the sport. And today I found that out. Oh, and I'm not the only one that thinks like this. If you go to his Facebook, a lot of people in Mexico just plain can't stand him for being an arrogant. Now, I'm not sure of that. I'm just going by what people are saying, that it's on his Facebook. And I'm not going to judge him on his personal life because I'm not his friend. But why do I say he's disrespectful to the sport? Some of y'all made up the excuse, right? Because you're always going to make up an excuse to defend the fighter you're in love with as a man, not as a fighter. Some of y'all made the excuse of, well, he can't make the weight at 23, right? Well, I told you yesterday, funny that back in September, he made 152 on a catch weight. Now he can't make 154. But not only that, it's not that he can't, it's he chose not to. And you saw it at the post press when they confronted him with that question. He said, well, you know, it ain't that I can't. I just chose not to. I mean, it's not a title fight, meaning that I have room to play around with the weight. So we chose to fight at 155, meaning that he can still fight at 154. He just chose not to because there wasn't a title, you know, a title bout. But that's really not an excuse to not make 154. But this is the guy that you guys are putting all your hopes in. And that's sad because it's putting a stink in that Mexican flag. Because y'all got better Mexican fighters coming up, like Magdaleno. I don't hear none of y'all talking about Magdaleno. Now that's a star in the making. I don't hear none of y'all talking about Magdaleno. Why ain't you talking about Magdaleno? That's a star in the making, right? But you choose to just go around following what all this rear end kissers talk about, like Ellie Segbag and all these people. Aren't you tired of being lied to? And aren't you tired of lying to yourself? When are you going to start being a man and seeing things and processing things by yourself, coming up with your own conclusions, instead of just sitting here in front of a keyboard talking about what you heard somebody else say? I'm out. Drop your comments.